Hello, everyone. How are you all today? This is going to be a controversial topic, and I know it. If you come in, please let me know that you can hear me. Greatly appreciate it. Today, I am talking about the N word. Now, this is something that we shouldn't think would be an issue in 2024, but it's still an issue because of the racial background and the historical references and issues that Black people in America have had with this word. Okay. I don't think it's as big of an issue in other places where Black people went as far as slavery was concerned, but in America, there's a huge racial divide with this word because of how it was used and the history of it and what it became. Now, originally, this word, it means black in Latin, and in Portuguese and Spanish, Negro means black. So the words in themselves are not necessarily bad. It's a color. Niger or Niger means black in essence, okay? Negro means black in essence. Now, a lot of this comes on the hip of what's going on recently with Fat Joe. If you don't know who Fat Joe is, he's a rapper. He's a rapper of Puerto Rican and Dominican descent. Now, I think the issue is coming in with Fat Joe because he uses the term, the N word, very freely, willy nilly. It has gone unchecked for decades, and he feels that he has a pass to use it because he grew up in a Black neighborhood. Okay. I get it. Okay, if you hear it all the time and it's actually being used towards you and they're calling you that as well, but you still have to understand the tone of where you are in this country. In your community, in your house, it might be okay. But when you step outside of your community, outside of your house, outside of your state, outside of your city, it may not be okay. You're going to have people that have a problem with that because of the history of that word in this country. All right. So, like I said, the word Niger or Nigger, what it became, and the word negus or Negro aren't necessarily bad things. It's just the people who started using the terms and their actions and how they behaved and how they treated the people that they were using the word on or using the word against. That was the issue. And see, that's why I don't have a issue with Black people using the N word. I'm trying not to say it on here, but I don't have a problem with Black people or people who identify or people who are Black saying the N word. I don't have a problem with it because I know the history of that word. I know the original meaning of that word, so I don't take offense. However, I do take a slight offense when I hear people who are not Black saying that word. But not as much as I used to because throughout time and over history, I have learned the origin. And see, that's what I'm big on. I'm big on history and digging up the origin of things. And so if you dig up the origin and you know what it means, it takes the sting out of it. So if you know that someone is calling you the N word and they're not Black, but you go and you look up the meaning of the N word, it takes the sting out of it. But it's just how that person is meaning it and their intent that becomes the issue. Okay. In Acts 13 and 1, a lot of people don't know this, but in Acts 13 and 1, the word Niger is actually used to describe Simeon. So Simeon was called a Niger in the Bible. And then you have the Niger River. And then you have Nigeria. So are you looking up the meaning in the core base of the meaning of these words? It means Black. Okay. Now, initially, the word Niger was used to describe black people, describe the region that they were from, especially when it came to slavery and the transatlantic slave trade. The word Nigger was just used to describe black people, just in general. It didn't matter where you come from or what type of black you were, just in general across the board, black people were described as Niger or Nigger, okay? And then it became a slur because it became hateful. It became ugly. It became to describe a group of people because of their color. And it was derogatory. All right. So again, if we're just going back to the origin and the true meaning of these words, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that like I said, over time you had some racist people using it, and that's where it became a problem. And I have a problem also with people who you can look at them and tell that they have African descent in them. Because I'm not going to lie to you, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and all that, you can look at them and you can tell these people have African ancestry. I mean, it's no doubt, but a lot of them don't identify as black. A lot of them don't even want to claim their African ancestry, to be honest. And that's the hurtful part. That's the problem. And so that's the problem with Fat Joe, because a lot of them don't necessarily claim being black and having that black ancestry or African ancestry, but they throw the term and the N word around like it's nothing, and they think it's okay. And I think because a lot of us don't check it, and a lot of us just allow them to continue to do it, they think it's okay. So, that's basically what I have to say about the N word. A lot of us, we need to just go back to the etymology of words and see what they originally meant. And I think the fact that people have an issue with us taking the word back and we're calling each other the N word, that's like my sister disciplining my child, or that's like me disciplining my child. It's okay. I know them. I know they don't have any negative or bad intent against me. I know my parents wouldn't do anything to hurt my children. I'm not going to do anything to hurt my children. But if there's a total and complete stranger out there disciplining my child, especially disciplining them physically, I'm probably going to have a problem with that, because I don't know that person's intent. Intent is the whole issue. Okay? And even if you don't know the intent, if you just think about it and you say, okay, historically, people that look like that, when they say this, they mean this. So historically, this is probably what I'm dealing with if that person is using that word. All right. So we got to be logical about this thing. But historically, if you have a black person using this word, they don't mean anything negative about it. It's just because we have turned that word into a word and a term of endearment. And there's nothing really wrong with that, especially if you know the history and the meaning of the word. Again, Niger means black in Latin. Negro means black in Spanish or Portuguese. Then you have negus, which is a derivative or one of the origins of Niger or Negro. You have negus, which meant king. All right. It's Semitic, Ethiopian, and it means king. Negus. All right. Negus. Go look that up. Negus means king. Niger means black. Negro means black. If people use this term towards me, I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing, because again, I know the meaning of these words. I take pride in it. If you call me the N-word, I'm taking pride in it. And see, I think that's why a lot of non-black people have an issue with that, because we have taken the word back and we now have pride in that word. So if you call me a negus, a Nigger or Nigga or a Negro, I really don't take too much offense to it, but at the same time, I'm going to look at you, I'm going to see your actions, I'm going to decipher your intent behind it. All right. So yeah, Big Mama, what you be doing? I am talking about the N word today, in the wake of the Fat Joe situation. And I'm just talking about that, Yeah. So to my fellow brothers and sisters, take your power back. All right. Get to the bottom of it, get to the bottom in the original meaning and intent of things, and the original meaning of things, the etymology of words. And if you take the sting out of it, if you take the offense out of it, you gain your power back. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, I know there's a lot of nuance across the world. Different parts of the world use different words. Different parts of the world, certain words are considered offensive. And I'm going to give you another perfect example of that. If you know the artist Tyga, she's a South African um, artist. Okay, she does. I forgot the name of it. Afro beats type music, right? So she calls herself colored. All right. In South Africa, black people down there that are light skinned or have some type of white mixture in their family or white heritage, but they're still partly black, they call themselves colored. All right. So there was a huge backlash against Tyga in the United States because she used the word color. Because black people in America were called color when you were dealing with the Jim Crow era in different times like that, where we were dealing with a lot of discrimination and alienation and racism. We were called colored. So that's why a lot of black people here had an issue with the word color. But over there, the word colored is not an issue because that's just the word that they use to describe people that have a mixed lineage there. So that's something also we have to look at around the world, so that is what it is. So I want you all to know it, that I do understand that there's nuances to it and there's differences in the world, but you have to accommodate to where you are. Okay, just like the Fat Joe situation, when he's in his community, in his hood, in his project, it might be quite okay for him to use the N word. But when you go somewhere else, other people may have a problem with you using the N word. But for me personally, if you identify as black, all right, and you have been going through the struggle just as well as the rest of us have been, I don't necessarily have a problem with you using the N word. So that's my spiel today. If any of you have any more questions, comments, or concerns about the N word, please let me know. And I'm about to end this live if no one else has any comments to add. I want to thank you all for watching, and you be blessed.